Joseph was the kind of young man people underestimated and resented. He was the 11th son of Jacob, favored by his father and hated by his brothers. He wore a coat of many colors, a visible reminder that he was different. But what truly set him apart were his dreams. In those dreams, sheaves of grain bowed to his. The sun, moon, and stars bent low before him. When he told his brothers, they laughed, then they burned with jealousy. "Who do you think you are?" they sneered. To them, Joseph wasn't a future ruler. He was a spoiled boy with foolish fantasies. One day, jealousy turned to cruelty. They threw him into a dry well, a pit in the wilderness. The dreamer lay at the bottom, bruised and betrayed. Later, they sold him to passing traders. He was carried away to Egypt in chains. From favored son to forgotten slave. If anyone looked unlikely to be used by God, it was Joseph. In Egypt, Joseph served in the house of Potiphar. Though far from home, he worked faithfully. And God was with him. Slowly, everything Joseph touched prospered. But just as things improved, false accusations sent him to prison. From pit to palace? Not yet. From pit to prison. Years passed in the darkness of a cell. Forgotten by those he helped. Forgotten, it seemed, by everyone. But not by God. Even in prison, Joseph's gift remained. He could interpret dreams. One day, Pharaoh himself was troubled by dreams no one could explain. Desperate, he sent for the Hebrew prisoner. A slave. A foreigner. A former inmate. An unlikely candidate to stand before the most powerful ruler in the world. Joseph stood before Pharaoh, not boasting, not bitter. "I cannot do it," he said. "But God will give Pharaoh the answer." God revealed that Egypt would face 7 years of abundance followed by 7 years of famine. Joseph not only interpreted the dream, he proposed a plan to save the nation. Pharaoh was astonished. Can we find anyone like this man, one in whom is the Spirit of God? In a single day, Joseph went from prisoner to prime minister. When famine struck, nations came to Egypt for food. Among them were Joseph's own brothers, the same men who had thrown him into the pit. They bowed before him, unknowingly fulfilling the dreams they once mocked. Joseph could have taken revenge. Instead, he wept. "You intended to harm me," he told them, "but God intended it for good, to save many lives." Joseph's story is not about a coat or even about dreams. It's about a God who works through betrayal, slavery, prison, and pain. God used a rejected brother, a foreign slave, a forgotten prisoner, not in spite of his suffering, but through it. Because when God chooses someone, even a pit can become a pathway to purpose. And sometimes, the most unlikely people carry the greatest calling.